Mobile gaming is quite often at its peak when it's played with a controller, offline, and sometimes having just a good old single player to get deeply connected with. Technically speaking, it's not every day we get a good one of those either. But here's our top 30 best offline single player games of 2026 to play on your Android and iOS. We're starting off today's offline list with good old Red Dead Redemption. I don't even know why you're around here looking for a good game to play unless you do not have a Netflix account and have to pay $40. And in that case, we understand. All things considered, this is just pure RDR and definitely better on mobile than on a Switch or a PlayStation 5 where you can't even enjoy without folks noticing. So, if you've got the right hardware, this thing actually holds a 60 frames per second. It looks clean, it doesn't even stutter itself to death. All the devices can run it, but you're clearly making some compromises. Still, playing John Marston smoothly on a phone is absurd, at the same time, oddly satisfying. Speaking of realistic games, well, Oceanhorn 3 might take the case in the list, as it's legitimately the most realistic, high-quality adventure game we've had almost ever played on a phone. Pretty fun game, funny at times, runs smoothly and has some out-of-the-world graphics, super polished game, no jank whatsoever. It's almost better than expected from the trailer, and the story picks up about 1,000 years after the events of the Oceanhorn 3. There's a new era, accompanied by this new character, M, which is the infamous techno-pirate and her crew of warlocks' revenge. The sound design is excellent, voice acting is crisp, the music is charming all around. Oceanhorn 3, I'd say, is superb as it is right now. Hopefully, it'll make its way to Android sometime soon. I believe previously I only mentioned this game when it was in the making, but in case you missed it, this one, Exhausted Man's probably for you, I don't know. It's a physics comedy game that has you crawling, flopping, rolling through a crucial night while laying down, literally, as you can see. At first, the controls are almost hilariously wonky, but that's sort of part of the fun. Trust me, you can customize your room, chase different endings, unlock achievements while laughing your ass off. You can even stream with friends. The game is all around pure goof joy, pretty good art, ridiculous physics, and a short but sweet experience that makes you go, yeah, this is exactly how exhaustion feels. It's available now on Android and iOS. Iron Long is $1. And yeah, it's available now on Android. It's sitting in the top paid charts on the Play Store right now, and it actually sort of deserves to be there. So what is it? The story is you're a convict sealed inside a tiny submarine, and you're just surrounded by an ocean of blood. No joke. Humanity is basically wiped out, habitable planets gone, and you're sent down there because, well, you're expendable. The whole game just traps you inside this claustrophobic metal coffin. No big open areas, no comforts, and yeah, this is the same game that inspired the film from Markiplier. If you like horror games that are simple, oppressive, and actually creative instead of loud and cheap, Iron Lung is a absolute must-play. Playable offline right now, it's 99 cents. Up next with a pretty decent classic inspired by the old Doom games, something called Megapain. Maybe even a little bit inspired by the Painkiller games. Straight up throwback to those wild 90s arena shooters where everything's just loud and chaotic. You're just punching tickets on mutants, demons, and a good amount of bosses by using a chunky arsenal of weapons. I don't know, pistols, rocket launchers, plasma guns, the whole deal. The vibe is all pure retro with 3D visuals and a heavy rock soundtrack pushing the action. There's a full offline campaign. You can also jump into co-op or go PvP with other players for that classic arena shooting.
A famous explorer once said that the extraordinary is in what we...
Anyone who's played mobile games long enough has been burned by a console classic port that, barely runs and somehow still asks for money. Tomb Raider 2013 coming to Android and iOS feels, however, a little different. Mostly because Feral Interactive has earned some real trust. In fact, this is a full survival trilogy opener, all DLC included, plus extra skills, weapons, skins, and even a new challenge tomb. Touch controls a tune, controller and keyboard support are there as well if you're that hot about it. We haven't really played the game yet, but Farewell will definitely stick the landing like they usually do, hopefully making it another Ray mobile port that goes a long way. Tomb Raider is coming out in about 7 days from now. Subnautica Mobile, might as well be one of the mightiest PC to mobile ports we've ever had hands on since, PC to mobile ports, started to become a thing. Subnautica Below Zero, the next chapter, is basically the base game with a frozen new twist. You're chasing your sister through the ice world and an alien terrain, poking around, resource gathering, and building to survive. There's new tools, vehicles, fully voice actors and characters. There is a heat management that adds, a lot more tension, more pressure, but thankfully, there's some lighter scares compared to the first game. The survival loop's the same, mobile runs buttery smooth, the visuals look amazing, and the sound design is just a perfect mix of chill and creepy. Now, on another side, we've got the game I Am Taxi Driver. That's right, another new game from the same folks who made I'm Monkey, I'm Security, etc. And yeah, it looks chill at first. You pick up passengers, let autopilot handle the road, easy money, right? Yeah, no, the real game happens in the backseat. In fact, every ride turns into this weird little sandbox scenario where you're not just driving, you're dealing with personalities. You can chat, mess with them, calm them down, or whatever you like. It's a casual game, of course. It's a sim game to some extent, pretty unpredictable and kind of hilarious. It's not about basically driving, it's about surviving the vibe. And that legit actually makes it way more fun than you possibly think it should be. This has also been a long time coming. We've got the game Subway Surfers City, which is still Subway Surfers. The difference is just the structure. Alongside the classic endless runs, you've got proper level-based sections. It's just tied to different parts of the city, which sort of gives your runs a little bit of endpoint. The movement's been tweaked with things like stomp moves, speed pads, and shields, but nothing really breaking the flow. It looks cleaner, runs smoother. Not a reinvention, of course, just a smarter sort of remake. Alright, going up to number 10. Favela on the roll is one of those rare mobile games that actually feels quite ambitious. It's a full-on open world where you work jobs, drive everything you can, survive day to day, and slowly build a life from nothing. You earn cash, buy property, flex vehicles, and just explore while there's social tension that's building underneath the action you do. It's definitely up there in terms of overall quality and scale with games like Grand Theft Auto Vice City. It's a long-term sandbox, aiming pretty big and swinging far above typical mobile expectations depth. Free, about 1 GB in total. Now guys, Gumslinger 2 Ducks and Nukes actually came our way, coming 2 years apart from its first game. And it's basically the question, what if physics were the joke and the whole joke? So the game is a turn-based dueling, worms adjacent in structure, but kind of way dumber in a self-aware way, not deliberate. Your ammunition's not bullets so much as objects, and the gummy physics make every shot slightly unreliable, which is the point of the game. You play this game in short bursts, laugh when something stupid happens, and close it right before it outstays its welcome. That's the real win with this one. We've got Tomb Raiders 1 through 3 offline, controller support friendly, just packed to the brim with content and nostalgia. You see the original 3 Tomb Raider adventure games for the first time ever, with all the expansions and the secret levels on a phone in a definitive edition. Although this actually takes you a whopping $10, but it comes in with more bonus content than you can imagine, a new challenge mode, photo mode, mobile controls, a decent optimization. The touch control is pretty fine, but we highly recommend the controller like the old times. Runs pretty smooth, you can always switch between HD and the classic. Highly recommend it, even if you actually haven't played the original game back on PlayStation 1 or your PC. Poppy Playtime Chapter 5 creeped onto Android earlier this month as well and made things way more intense. First of all, the game's optimized so you can take the scares anywhere you want. And hopefully, if you've been following the story, this is the continuation you've been waiting for. So, no better time to step in with your monsters, your puzzles, and that slow burn, tension, all that. It might just be the best entry yet because it's got some fresh mechanics, great puzzles, engaging narrative. It takes both the characters and the story to new heights. Great replay value. It's a demo. It's playable for free right now. Number 14, we've got the game Last Hunter K. Basically one-on-one Elden Ring. Except it's in Seoul, Korea after the apocalypse. Countering, slashing, partying with swords, bows, hammers, axes, whatever feels right. Enemies adapt to your skills so you can't just mash buttons. Pretty tense game. Quite fast, it's all happening in a Ruben world as it's setting. AI is smart. Duels do get really heavy, like as if they can aim you with just one hit, can customize your hero, grab a friend actually, or go solo. It's simply console level combat squeezed in your pocket for free. This has been nearly 5 years of wait and over 50 million of downloads to this very day, but thankfully, Ninja's Creed got a sequel, and this is just one of those moments that a game really wants you to think it's cooler than it actually is, and sometimes it almost gets there. Look, the pitch is Ninja Sniper first-person shooter like before. Missions are structured, bite-sized and pretty safe. The stealth is more implied than demanded in the game. You get great weapons and bows, upgrades to do the usual mobile grind dance, and it's actually got a story. It's pretty good. Ninja's Creed 2 is playable offline, which honestly helps its case a lot, but don't expect Hitman or Deus Ex or something stupid because this is closer to a polished sort of time killer, but a pretty damn good game. Coming up behind that at number 16, we've got the game Narin, which is from a long-time veteran of mobile game makers, where you are this tiny but super strong dwarf smashing goblins, trolls, monsters, and bosses. Or punch, dodge, blocking counts, so you're gonna be smart. There are 5 different lands to explore, lots of quests to beat, some awesome axes and armors to grab. You can play anywhere you want because it works offline. Not to mention it's made by the Tiny Arches developers. Trust me, once you start playing the game, you won't want to put it down. Monument Valley 3 is finally here. With that being said, guys, considering some of you already sunk an embarrassing number of hours into the PC and the base game version, and we're happy to announce that the base game has landed pretty smooth, and now the Garden of Life update has dropped as well, giving you 4 gorgeous new chapters, bonus memory puzzles and much more. New cities, coastlines, puzzles that just evolve as you go, and new free roam boat section everyone's been pretending they all mastered on the first try. This update is completely free and unlocks after finishing the main story, so there's really no excuse not to dive back in. Beautiful art, clever design, soothing vibes. Monument Valley 3 is officially back in rotation. The almost decade-old indie horror game Among the Sleep is now finally out on Android. Personally, one of my favorite games when it comes to horrors, and if you're looking for something just short with a great story, I would definitely recommend this whole thing. It's almost like a, Amnesia, the game, a Dark Descent, but it's, with a baby version. To some extent, sort of prove that horror games can be smart and pretty emotional. You're a toddler in this game. The world just feels too much, warped, wrong, tables look big because you're a baby. It's not the boo type of horror, it's that deep, uncomfortable fear of just not understanding what's going on as a baby. I mean, the childhood confusion where everything just feels bigger than you, literally and emotional. Sound Horses is a legitimately calm, story-driven horseback adventure with the mission to create your own piece of the open landscape. This game's journey begins in episode 1, Homeland, where daily life, writing challenges, and small mysteries slowly build into a deeper story. You can play the first 3 days for free, explore around, meeting folks, learning the world, and unlike the rest of the episodes, it let you continue the story up to 10 days, with around 6 to 7 hours of gameplay. It's free to play, of course. Future episodes will expand, developers said, taking you to new lands, cultures, and even a parallel world. It's an offline game as well. Parasite Z, which I'm pretty sure we mentioned before, is one of the most classic survival horror games released on Android, and it's actually inspired by Resident Evil games, only rebuilt for mobile with Unreal Engine 5, which is just amazing. It's a free game, it's a demo, it's a little big, of course it's about 3 gigabytes in total. The story is you wake up inside this massive abandoned prison where this parasite outbreak has turned folks and inmates, guards into monsters. The ammo is currency, inventory space is limited, every corner feels dangerous. You can explore cell blocks, infirmaries, execution halls, and uncover the truth behind this whole failed experiment sort of thing. You play a detective here and a lawyer also, whose story unravels as you push through the story. It's not about the action in this game, it's about surviving. This took only 8 years, but still worth a check if you were rooting for a console quality sort of racer, because we've got Rise Race the Future on Android today. The graphics, the driving mechanics, the tracks, the vehicles, and the playtime are all pretty good. The game is fun to play and challenging enough to keep you coming back for more, even if you just normally don't get into racing games. Rise is a pretty decent one to be in your library if you get it for free. I'd say if you're looking for a little fun within short bursts from time to time, well, Rise Race the Future is that spot. Overall, pretty fun arcade racer with controller support. It's a ton of content. Toilet 8 is I don't even know what to call it. It's just a nightmare you didn't even know your bladder signed up for you. See, in this game, which is a puzzle horror game, you're trapped in a infinite hell where every stall looks the same until something slightly off makes you squeeze and question your own eyesight at like 2 a.m. Spot tiny little anomalies before they explode. Or just enjoy panicking like a human popped up in a Looney cartoon. There's jump scares in this game, toilet raves, Agent Smith from Matrix to give it depth. Brilliant game, get dumb enough, it's everything you secretly wanted from a public bathroom. I don't know how else to put it. Well, with that being said, my starter winter car mechanic is for players who don't really mind spending an hour bolting parts together just to feel something. You build a car piece by piece in first person and cool, and the game really makes sure you respect every nut, bolt, and bad decision. Clearly inspired by the game My Summer Car, but it's kind of trimmed down for mobile and surprisingly patient about it. The driving is a bit hard, but purposeful, which fits the vibe. No ads screaming at you, no timers begging for money, just quiet mechanical suffering. If fixing sim games relax you, this one really earns its place.
Has anyone seen the gold pen?
With that being said, if you've been waiting on a decently well done story adventure game, I don't know about you, but I kind of know damn well my options are between grinding through another pay to win, which is also the case with this game, or play this game's demo. Because Bluey's quest for the gold pen does a pretty decent job of blending, simple Zelda-like puzzles with a pretty good, decent, actual story. But the game itself is an overly simplified adventure. There's no danger, no real stakes, just an excuse to wander around, these cute environments and solve basic puzzles. It's pretty easy breezy, and if you've got kids, they're gonna love it as well. One problem, the game's about $15. Oh yeah, the same developers that brought the game I Am Monkey, Cats, I Am Security, a bunch of other great games, they finally came up with a new one, Bird, and you guessed it right. This time it's actually an open world game. So if you want to Grand Theft Auto level open world with wings and free, this is it. In fact, I Am Bird's been out on PC and it's been in the making for mobile for months. So if you've been waiting here, rest assured it's ported quite well. Gameplay is smooth, it keeps you interested. You get full sandbox interactivity and freedom to explore as well. Don't even take my word, just read its reviews. It's actually been out for a day or two and already downloaded 500,000 times. Escape from School Runaway is just your pure next level mischief simulator. You're not just sneaking past these teachers and bullies, this is escape sim game and you're plotting heists with school supplies, outsmarting the janitor, turning every classroom into a battlefield basically. Stealth, puzzle solving, and absurd comedy all collide perfectly here. You hide on the desks, improvise, and find multiple ways to break free. The level design is pretty clever, humor hits constantly, and the latest update actually makes it feel almost console tier. It's offline, free, and just full of surprise. Pretty near to that ultimate schoolscape fantasy, pretty smart, pretty ridiculous, and pretty deep. Coming up behind that, it's Space Station 52, or, Murder on Space Station 52, which is this delightfully well-made murder mystery that sort of proves point-and-click adventure games can still surprise you. So you play as a maintenance guy who shows up to find his predecessor murdered, and spend your time looping through the station collecting evidence, interrogate suspects, and solving puzzles, mostly just brain-melting level stuff. It's got a charming voice acting, very unique art, and a story that keeps you hooked all along. This is a small team masterpiece, sort of, that will highly possibly make any mystery fan grin like a guilty suspect. Not a free game, and even worse, it's an iOS exclusive right now, but if you like puzzle adventures, this one really clicks. It did take a couple of months, but for those of you who hated the iOS exclusivity of this one, Shotgun King landed on Android, and it's in pretty good shape. Imagine chess, but every piece is a shotgun, and you're the king out for revenge. It's roguelike meets survival and almost brilliant. You move like, your chess piece, but then you get to shoot and hopefully dodge the board getting flipped on you. Where each run keeps you thinking, aiming, and laughing at the absurdity of it all. Controls take a second and comfy, but once you do, it's just pure fun. Suffice it to say, in short, if you've ever wanted to blast your opponents while obeying chess rules, Shotgun King is exactly the kind of insane mobile twist you've been waiting for. Number 29, we've got the game Paranormal, basically the new chapter, TMC. The game landed on iOS and Android, and it's definitely not another visual novel. It is the experience. It offers a very intriguing story, lovable cast, and an art style that's absolute brain-stretching good. You get new mechanics, like there's new mini-games and battle components to make it feel fresh. If you love the first game, the sequel or this new chapter lives up to it. Pure bingeable goodness. If you haven't played neither, just consider it's a different game to a regular type of novel adventure. And last but not least, we've got Assassin's Creed's Mirage's Valley of Memory DLC. You get a decent DLC. It's the main character's personal quest to find his long-lost father. You get brand new map, main quest, new targets, side missions, contracts, and even parkour challenges. Add skill tree upgrades, tool mods, and extra difficulty levels. Well, you've got over here hours of creative curve. Give it a shot. It's free. It's available on the Apple Store. Hopefully come into Android someday. Thanks for watching. Let me know which one's your favorite. Let me know which ones I've missed, and I'll see you again soon.